Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show, I got a very awesome guest, and she's an actress. She was in one of my favorite soaps of all time, Guy Guiding Light, and she played Olivia Spencer on Guiding Light. And she has a new series that's been out for a little while now, and it's called Venice, and she has a lot of the people from Guiding Light on that show, and it's absolutely amazing. And I'm talking about the one and only Crystal Chappell, and I'm really looking forward to talking to her about Guiding Light and about Venice. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters, as you can already tell, and I am the host of the Grue Rume Show. And my interview with Crystal will be coming up very soon. This is my groom, and as always, my gruelings. Welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned, everybody.
Want to drink my
Oh, sorry. And
oh good.
well, thank you so much for coming on, Gru. Thank you for taking time out. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. And like I said before, you've been so great at helping me make this happen. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. The first question I want to ask you is, I know you've done quite a few soaps, like and soap work, like a lot of people don't know, like the soap work is hard because it's like daily with a ton of scripts every day. And how do you like train your mind to remember every single line on these like huge scripts?
Wow. It's like a muscle. Like the more you use it, the
Hmm.
I won't say it's easy, it's not, because you might have like 40 45 pages a day, you know what I mean? Yeah, it can be pretty hefty. So, and I think it even went up from there, since Guiding Light went off the air. But you just practice it over and over and over again, and then finally, if you get in a scene with someone, you can run it, and it makes it easier because you start to feel your way through it, and get the dynamics. But it's a
Okay.
muscle. It's like lifting weights.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know it was that like 45 pages or more. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it's gone up since in the last 10 years. It might be like 60 plus pages a
Ooh.
day. But once if you're in it and you're doing it, like I said, you're working with good people and you practice and it works. Somehow it works,
Oh, okay, okay.
you know.
And one of the shows, like I'm really looking. One of the shows I saw you did. I'm gonna keep throwing my hands in the air so the light don't go off. One of the shows I saw you did, like you were on set for Walker, Texas Ranger. Like, did you get to interact with Chuck Norris at all?
Oh, I did. I think he was very involved in the casting process too. So yeah, I was the bad girl, and yeah, he caught me, and he was a very nice guy. He was a very nice guy. So yeah, it was fun. Boy, that was, and I think I wore a hat. Um, they had me drive a truck. Well, I took off in the truck. I was a stunt person that was supposed to drive it, but I was very young and not sure of what I was doing. So I just took off in the truck, and they went, she can do stunts. And I'm like, no, not really. I really can't. But yeah, super fun.
Oh my God. And I'm a horror fan too. And another show, like you were on a horror show,
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist The Legacy. And I used to watch that show like every week, and I used to love that show. It was only on for like I think a couple seasons.
Yeah.
But how was your experience working on that?
Well, it was great. I mean, the cast was great, the crew, everybody. I played this succubus, and it was we had to do this very provocative love scene. And I mean, those are always a little like, but everyone was very cool about it. And I loved being in Vancouver.
Hmm.
Um, I think I was up there for a couple weeks, and that was about the time that David Duchovny said something about, he was on a talk show and made some remark about the weather in Vancouver. And And so what the British Film Commission did was they gave every actor in the area, because I was there over a weekend, a free weekend of skiing,
Okay.
a Whistler Blackcomb, which was gorgeous. And so we were like, keep talking, David. It's all good, you know. But it was a super fun time. The whole thing was wild, and it's funny to be behind the scenes of stuff that's, you know, scary
Well,
because
yeah, exactly.
yeah, but I loved it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that I always loved that show. Like I love the movies too, the
Uh-huh.
Poltergeist films, and
Classic.
I mean the series was a little different, of course, than the movies, but yeah, I love all that stuff.
Awesome. We need something like what is out there now? I don't know what's on TV anymore. So what did I watch recently that was kind of scary? It was a Ryan Murphy thing. Anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not an American Horror Story, right?
Oh, no, it was like one of those limited series. So it's like a
Gotcha.
one-time thing and like 8, 9, 10 episodes. I'll figure it.
Oh, okay.
I'll email it to you.
Okay, cool. And, and on to Guiding Light. Like Guiding Light is I watched the show from a kid till it was
Love
off
it.
the air. And my mom watched it first. Like she was a fan of the show first. And then of course when I was a kid I used to watch it with her. And Guiding Light was a show that me and my mom would spend an hour a day, like no matter if she was in work, if I was in school, like we would always find that time to spend that 1 hour a day to watch the show, to watch Guiding Light.
Sure.
And what did like Guiding Light and oh oh
Olivia.
Olivia mean to you?
Um, well, I mean, I have had a really lovely career and I appreciate all of it. But Olivia for me was it was the first time I really played a bad girl in a soap because in the previous Carly on Days and then Maggie on One Life. Olivia was I it was unnerving for me because I thought, oh, I kind of like that long-term job, that
Hmm.
kind of role that kind of you can stick around for. And usually when you're playing the bad girl and or the villain or the villainess, you have like a 3 month run. And I went, well, okay, whatever. And um it ended up being 10 years and
Yeah,
I had the most fun, you know, just letting go and saying, you know, everything that other characters couldn't say. Um, you know, and she got her just rewards, right? But you know, it's just fun. And it was never that super couple thing. So I kind of missed that at first because it's like
hmm,
you kind of feel secure in that little world. But then you realize, oh no, wait a minute. She can just drive over here and cause trouble, and she can drive over here and cause trouble. And I thought, oh, that's fun. You know, I used to compare her to like Thomas the engine. That my kids used to love that. He's a very useful engine. And I thought Olivia's like Thomas the Tank. She's a very useful little engine. So I enjoyed it. It was just super fun. And I think, you know, if the show were still on the air right now, I'd still want to be playing her. That's how
yeah,
much,
definitely.
you know.
I like Olivia was one of my all-time favorites. Like I love like how open she was and she didn't take crap and she would speak her mind and cause trouble and but then she was loving too. Like she had her her
Daughter.
good times, her loving times, and then she
Yeah.
had her villainous times and like when Guiding Light first introduced O Olivia to the world, she was basically good because she's living on an island with a prince
Mhm.
and she's the aunt to Jonathan.
Right.
And then Catherine Reva washes up on the shore.
Washes up. That's hilarious. Hey, Zimmer, what you washing up
And
for?
but the Olivia Reva feud didn't start yet because she was someone else when she was on the island. And Olivia and Catherine were basically friends at first. And how was working with like Kim and I forgot
Robert.
Bradley
Oh,
was it?
Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Kim and Bradley with the whole like Prince. Catherine, Olivia.
They're, they're great. I mean, they're great people. It was that was really interesting because it was such a fantastical, all the gowns and everything and propriety and society and but yeah, I mean, they're great people, super fun to work with. And I was trying to trick the prince into marrying me and was trying to get her out of the picture. And but yeah, I mean, it was just super fun. It was the whole thing. And we were trying to figure out where San Cristobal was in relationship to Springfield
Mhm.
because you could get there in like 20 minutes via small plane. Or like maybe it's like somewhere in the middle of Lake Michigan or something. I have no idea. But yeah, and people would just bop back and forth. It's like, oh, I just saw you in Springfield. Um, no, it was the whole thing was so grand, and like I said, it's fun to play dress up like that. It's fun to get and all the beautiful gowns and hair and makeup and all of that stuff. And they asked me if I could do an accent, a British accent. And I thought, oh, I'm not starting that. If I do make it on this show, she's going to get her an American accent real quick because there are people who are very good at it. I'm not one of those people. So I was like, no, she's really from Philly. And
Okay.
okay. And she's like, I'm going to go to San Cristobal. It's going to be about a 15-minute bus ride, but I'll get there. And
Yeah, they tend to arrive pretty quick on a private island.
right. I swear it's somewhere in the middle of the Great Lakes. It's just like, I don't know, but super fun, great cast. We had
Yeah,
everyone that I worked with on that story was so great.
nice.
Yeah.
Because I even remember when Olivia and Catherine hid Jonathan because they wanted to go after Jonathan, and then of course like many uh, time when Reva regains her memory, she comes back with Josh to try to find out what happened to her son,
I don't
and
know. I don't
it
know.
was it was a good storyline. It was a really good storyline.
It was fun. It was really fun. And I didn't get the prince. I think the character slept with like every dude in Springfield. You know, I don't know. Didn't get the prince. Cassie got him. Isn't that right? Yep.
Right, yeah, she did.
Yep. Yep. Neither Reva nor Olivia got the prince. So
I forget. That's right. It was Cassie. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. And the Olivia Reva feud was classic. Like, I mean, they went at each other like crazy, and you know, it was mostly over like Joshua and Richard, of course. But they fought like with other things,
yeah.
and how was that Reva Olivia feud for you and Kim? Like, how was it working that feud that you two had?
You know what? It's always a little, I think it's always a little intimidating when you don't really know someone and then your
Hmm.
adversaries on camera. Um, she's just formidable. She's such a formidable human, but as an actress, she's so formidable. And I had to get past my nerves to work with her, but I thought, well, I got nothing to lose here. And if I'm gonna go down, I want to go down by one of the greats. So it's like we got into it, and after a while there was enough antagonism within these two characters that we just had a lot of fun with it. um because these people aren't real, and I know they are to the audience, and that's what we want, but I think it's silly, the idea of getting into an actual feud with, or have antagonisms with a co-star when
Hmm.
playing a story, right? So we got along great. Kim is a dear friend, and they even gave us a scene in the, I think, the final episode, because I was surprised by it. I'm like, oh, they're going to have Olivia and Reva chat. Some of the
Yeah.
last few episodes. I thought that's really cool. And one of the writers said, well, yeah, you guys have had 10 years of fighting and you have to have a scene. And I was like, right on. So all good.
at least they made Olivia and Reva end on a positive note when the show ended.
Yes, I like that too. That isn't always how it goes, but I really like that, knowing that they were
Yeah,
here.
and oh, Olivia does find find love through the show, but like it's like fast loves, I guess. I guess that's what you would call like first she's with Joshua, and of course Reva steals him back, and then Buzz, and then yeah,
Didn't she?
Buzz's son too, I think it
Yeah, I
was.
was
And
gonna just say, didn't she? Boy, oh, okay. See, I forget. Oh well, somebody's got to do it.
exactly. So like did you have fun working with Robert, and I can't remember the actors that play Buzz and his son.
Justin and Frank,
Yeah.
yes. That was part of what I was saying earlier about having this character that can kind of go over here and then go over there, and it works, right? But I loved working with Robert. The whole Reva, Josh, Olivia thing was fun. We all know how it's going to end, but uh, she's washing up. Um, but then getting into the working with Justin and Frank, completely different energies, completely different
Mhm.
dynamics, brought out different things in the character. And they're just wonderful. There's wonderful actors. It was so much fun, and then being a part of the Spalding family
Yeah.
and working with Ron and Grant, and I mean, it was just it just brought a different sides of her. Marge Doucet, and then the sparring there, and Joan Collins played that character for a bit, and but it just brought out different sides, and allowed me to have fun as an actor, right? I mean,
Oh my God, yeah.
it's so fun.
I I have to admit I did like the O Olivia and Alan relationship because you can tell, well, I mean, Alan was crazy about her, but she was like on and off with Alan, but they definitely had something. I mean, it was definitely like a rocky relationship because like she can't trust Alan, and then her affair with Philip.
Can't trust her. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. love Ron Rain is, again, I'm so blessed because I am friends with these people. So he's just a dear man, funny. He's really funny. And that's
Mhm.
the thing about, when I watch his performances as Alan, I'm like, oh, people are missing the best part of, who this guy is. He's smart, but he's hilarious. And very, very dear, like just a dear person. You were like, how are you?
Oh wow, so the total complete the opposite of Alan.
Totally, totally. No, he was just, but it was fun because the sparring part of it was fun. Because they'd yell cut and we'd just start laughing. I mean, it was super fun. I love being a part of that group and that story because I felt like
No,
she could fit in there. You know what I mean? Everyone not liking her. It's just like nobody trusts anybody. It's like, okay, that sounds about right. We're not gonna, be the family you want to watch at Christmas for some warm fuzzy feelings. It's like, but anyway.
yeah, true. I, I always loved like the Bauer Bart barbecue because it's supposed to be this like wholesome family gathering with friends, and there's always some kind of drama, someone getting shot, someone.
Oh my god. Well, you should show up with your bulletproof vest on. Just get used to this is what's going to happen at the Bower Bar every 4th of July. But yeah, something always does happen. Now that it's breaking up or somebody's losing it something, I don't know. Oh my god, that's funny. Well, just something's got to happen. Oh,
Right?
right?
And what do you think like I mean I know it's a soap and there was like a ton of like crazy, insane, completely out there storylines. And one of the storylines I think was crazy was when Reva had the painting of oh Olivia, and they were going through the painting.
Yeah. It was funny. Somebody sent me a clip of that not that long ago because because you forget. You do so many
Yeah.
shows where you forget um everything, and not everything, but a lot. And so yeah, they showed that scene where she puts her hand on, because she would be, it's right there at my chest, right? So she's like going feeling around. So it's, and then they do we were so psyched on all the sci-fi part of it, right? Or the time travel. I like that stuff. But yeah, and it was just super how Olivia's always been the villain in their relationship. And how their love endures, and I mean it covers all of that. But yeah, and oh, I ended up keeping one of those paintings. They made two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They took a photo that was a photo made from a photo. Somebody
Hmm.
painted it, but they made two, and it was huge. I ended up selling it, but it was huge, and it's hard to put it, you hang it on your wall. It's like, it was in the shed for a long time because I was like, I can't like sit here and look at this like this, looking at yourself. Um, but yeah, no, and then they kept the other one in the production office at Guiding Light because it was
Oh,
huge.
nice.
I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, people. You take it down. But no, it was a great, great storyline. And again, I'm trying to remember all of I think one of it was I know they went back into the 1800s
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Britain, right? And then I think there was like Nazi Germany. It was like Ron played like, you know, uh Gestapo, and it just, anyway, we have fun with that stuff. That's
Oh,
where
yeah,
you get
definitely.
a little kooky and a little crazy, and but yeah, it was fun. And yeah, Ken just feeling around on the canvas. All right.
What what do you think was like one of the pretty crazy storylines for Guiding Light that involved you?
Oh my gosh. Well, that was certainly one of them. I'm trying to remember it all. I mean, one of the stories that I thought that I liked was her she locked Philip up in the mental institution. I don't know why. Just because it's like, and he's like, Grant was like playing some good crazy because I was like, I'm scared. I'm so scared. It's like, okay. No, just stuff like that. It's just she was just fun to play. But there wasn't anything that I hated. There was never a time where I went, oh, I hate this story. I don't like this story. It was just like, bring it. It was great.
I That's so great. I love it. And then,
So
after all the guys that Olivia went through, she definitely had her heart broken a lot. And then she meets Natalia,
mhm.
and that it starts out as just a friendship because Olivia has Gus's heart.
Correct.
And of course it turns into more than that later down the line. And how was it like forming that relationship with them, because it definitely blossomed throughout the show, and Olivia and Natalia became one of the best couples of Guiding Light. The fans loved them. And how was it like for you to do like a a woman relationship on the show?
Well, I mean, Jessica Lucci is one of the dearest people walking, and uh they sat us each down. The executive producer brought us into her office individually and said, here's something we'd like to do. And at that point, we kind of, I think that the writing was on the wall, that the show was seeing its final days. um and they wanted to tell this very slow love story and just see what happens. And Jesse and I were like, that's, yeah, sure, great. Um, so I mean, I loved it. I thought it was a really apropos way to send Olivia off, and happy, and with someone she didn't see herself with,
Yeah,
and I thought that's kind of appropriate for her. And Jesse and I get along so well. It's like we know each other so well without even spending every day with each other and talking all the time. We just know each other very, very well, and we have a great respect for each other. So it was just really easy to understand that Olivia had one final conquest with Gus, trying to take Gus away from Natalia.
yeah,
Um, accident and all of this, and not wanting to survive, and then Natalia nursed her back to health and helped find her will again. Um, and it was just this really slow burning love story, which I felt like soaps had lost along the way. They used to put a little more time into it,
true.
and so it was nice to go back to that. But no, it was so easy. And it felt so genuine. And they really took their time, like I said. I mean, there was some frustrations along the way, like we couldn't kiss and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was the right way for this character to leave Springfield, or
Definitely.
with me. So
And all the Guiding Light fans called him Oh Otalia.
yeah.
And what was your favorite Otalia moment?
um gosh, I think I love the moment when Olivia's in the hospital. Something's happened. She's passed. I don't remember, but she's in the hospital, and Natalia comes running to make sure she's okay, and Olivia was pretending to be asleep, right? And Natalia says all these beautiful things and kisses her gently on the forehead, and then she walks away, and you see Olivia looking after her, and there's just moments like that got me into watching soaps. It's just this kind of simple love story that's just not complicated by anything. And I thought that was just a lovely moment. I mean, Jesse and we just had fun working together and working with the little girl who played my daughter. uh,
Yes.
yeah, and that was at the time when they were making, they built all of these sets that are sort of on top of each other, whereas usually you have to slide the pedestal cameras around, so they're side by side, and they had these sets stacked, and you kind of have to walk through other sets to get to a set. It was wild. It was really wild. So there's all this change happening. So they built that farmhouse, um, and it had it upstairs in a bedroom. So we'd all go upstairs to the bedroom. I mean, it was kind of a wild way to shoot, which is how I
Yeah,
shoot now. So it's like, okay. Um, but yeah, no, that there's the whole story. I thought they did a beautiful job with, and I really credit Ellen Wheeler and Jill Hurst for that. They really worked together to make it special, and
mhm.
yeah, it was just a great story for us.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about like when they finally said this is it, like the show's not going to be on anymore? Because I know the Guiding Light fans, like they were devastated when the show ended. But like, how did you feel when they finally told you to pull the plug on the show?
Well, it was surreal, right? Because it's one thing to get fired from a show, but people are still there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And working, and that's what you want. It was just sad. We kind of felt like we were taking it a year at a time anyway. We were aware that I think almost the whole time I was on the show, one of the first things that a makeup person said to me was, we're going off the air, right? And I went, what? It's like, no, I just got here, so we can't do that. But so I kind of felt like we were on borrowed time, and but we were all very sad. And so I know that was April 1st, because we kept thinking, is this a joke? We thought, is this an April Fool's joke? And I think we actually finished shooting mid-August of that year. So we had all that time to hang out together and appreciate each other, and and it was I've never experienced anything like that. I hope nobody else has to either, when you see something phased out like that's been
Yeah.
around 60 plus years. Yeah.
That show was around a long time. Yeah. And like, what inspired you to create and star in Venice?
Well, it was actually that storyline, because I was getting all kinds of mail. It was
Mhm.
definitely hit a chord for people, um and I was a bit frustrated at the limitations that we had. Um so I've always wanted to produce and write and direct, and so it just seemed like a good time, because I had nothing planned after that. Not really. I was like, okay. And Jessica was on board, and that maybe is part of it too. I wanted to do it for the fans, but I didn't want to let go of my time with my castmates. I think that's a big part of it too. So yeah.
Yeah, because I love the fact that you took the Olivia Natalia storyline and pushed and brought it to your show, of course, under different names of Gina and Annie. And how did you and Jessica like form this amazing chemistry on set, like this really strong bond?
I think there are very few people in my life. I'll say that, I tend to be a little more, you know, I like to give relationships time to see if I, can trust, right? But that's my problem. With Jessica, it was never an issue. And that was so unusual for me. I think she probably it's easier for her. I'm making an assumption here, but it was just very interesting and unique, because I felt like she's the easiest person. I like there's no reason to fear, to be doubtful, there's no competition to see who's going to get more camera time. Um, None of that. So it was just so easy from the get-go to just slowly build this relationship and the story, and then we took it, to the internet, where we could not
Yes.
have limitations. So
Yes, exactly. And what I love about it is like you brought all the Guiding Light people, well, not all of them, of course, but you brought like a lot of the big name ones back, and you got Beth and Dinah, Gina, and Blake, and
mhm.
of course Robert and Kim, and what and
Michael
Billy Lewis too.
and Jordan and Jerry. And yeah, I purposely wrote season 6 to shoot back east, because I wanted to work with those people, and it's cheaper for me to go there than to have them come here. But I missed it so much. I missed them so much. And they were just like, of course we'll do it. Tina, my gosh. I mean, and they're so talented. I mean, they
Yeah.
do a lot of theater. They stay busy, but I was just like, no, let's just do a little reunion show. So
Oh, I love like any Guiding Light fan loved it, like seeing all those faces back. And and I love like on Guiding Light, Wes was your brother, and you got to get that bond back with Wes again on your show. I remember seeing Wes on Charmed, and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy from Guiding Light.
oh, that's awesome. He's just a dear man, and so freaking talented. So yeah. Well, I think he's in jail. Everyone goes to jail for a little while, but then they get out. So I'll see what he's up to for season 8. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. And one of the most loved couples was Reva and Josh, even though they were both married a dozen times to different people. But like Reva and Josh were definitely like the couple everyone loved. And I love the fact that you brought them back on your show and you brought them back in love with one another, of course, with different characters. And that definitely was like a nod to all the Reva and Josh fans.
Yeah. Well, they're magical together. I mean, they just are.
Mhm.
And I, I adore both of them. And I was so thrilled that they were willing to do it because you never know, something ends and then somebody calls you 10 years later or whatever it was and says, hey, you guys want to fall in love on camera again? So they were like, yes, yes. So it was such a gift to me and they're just fun. They're fun to hang out with. That's like a big thing with me. I need to have people around me that'll make me laugh. I'm always like, okay, come on. So I'm really stressed out here. Okay. I'm trying to produce this thing. So they just make me laugh and, have my back. They're awesome.
Nice, nice. And what did you love most about so far about playing Gina on Venice?
I kind of patterned her after Olivia in that she highly focused on work and very, driven that way and um not allowing herself to love. That's, Olivia just was looking for money and attention, and I think she was really looking for love. But Gina she has a harder shell, and so it's been fun to kind of, pick that apart. You got to start somewhere, right? And then
Hmm.
slowly, build story that kind of pulls the layers back. And that's fun for me. And again, I get to work, I've been able to work with, Jordan Clark and my dear friend Hilary Smith, who plays my aunt, and just all of these wonderful actors that kind of help Gina over the years soften a bit. So,
And what do you think was the most fun scene you shot as Gina?
oh my gosh. Well, I mean, anything I do with Hillary and Galen Gehring is, we would play like nun bowling, only because I know. Well, you know what it was? It was this is how I the stupid stuff. Sometimes it's the stupid stuff that makes me laugh the most. But Kim and I were standing, Teresa and I were standing, I think it was like Barnes and Noble or something like that. And um, they have all these little games on the checkout aisle,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these little things that travel games. And they,
Hmm.
they had them bowling, and we're like, well, just let's write a scene, and they can be because it's silly. It doesn't mean anything. We're drinking cocktails and rolling little balls at nuns. I mean, I don't know. It's it's not like anyone's keeping score or anything. It's like, but okay, stuff like that's fun. You can't do a whole show like that, but those little moments are fun. And Galen and Hillary are, they make me laugh. They're just so funny, naturally funny. So
That's so funny.
and then bowling. Of course, let's do a scene about that.
I know, right? And season 7 of Venice is like what can fans of the show expect for season 7?
They in season 6 they were in New York and they come back to Venice Beach, and things are good, right? Their life is good. Gina's got a handle on things, but she ends up getting a job at a magazine, the magazine that Annie works for. And it's all this stuff within this business, but there's one person who's got a big secret, and uh, and it will affect Gina in a huge way. So
Mm.
it's a bit of a mystery. But it takes place mostly in the magazine world. So, but yeah, there's lots of love and lots of, you know, lovely people doing naughty things, and It's a soap. It's a soap. It's what I love.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Soap. So yeah. I think people will really enjoy it. I really do. It does end with a cliffhanger.
Oh, okay.
It does. I like to hook people at the end of it, or like to hook the seasons. But yeah, so there's some news on the way at the end of the season. But that's really all I can say without
Well, yeah, of course.
it away. So it doesn't sound like it's very specific, but yeah, just it's there's trouble. Not within the well, there is trouble within the relationship a little bit. Annie has a little bit of a secret too, now that I think about it. So there are
Oh, wow.
two people with secrets. Okay.
It's going to be very interesting.
I hope so. Yeah.
And when you aren't playing Gina and Olivia, like what do you like doing during your free time?
Oh my gosh. I do a lot of yoga.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah. I mean, my husband and I work out, and but it's a hot yoga and hot weight classes, and just everything's hot. I just turn up the heat. Turn up the heat. Um, I'm really just getting back into writing. I'm writing a pilot script for someone, and I'm excited about that because she's mentoring me. She's a showrunner at
Oh,
Warner
wow.
Bros. And so she's been gracious enough to read my work and get that red line going. And but it's I've been doing this for a little while, so she's really helped me, and I'm very lucky. So I wanted to get the show up, season 7 up and running before I could sort of shift
Gotcha.
focus. And so I do enjoy sitting and actually writing and creating, and it's a fun thing to do,
Oh, all right.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I wish we all had that, because it really is kind of cathartic. So
Once you've been doing this for many years, like you it becomes your passion then. So you're always looking for like new things to try, whether it's writing, producing, directing.
yes. Yeah, and it's fun. I enjoy it. My husband and I, we wrote a show called The Grove together. So we've
Nice.
been kicking around some ideas about what to do, and but right now I'm going to focus on this pilot. I am a
Okay.
little behind, but I'm getting there. And there have been so many technical difficulties. I swear, right before we got on here, the computer that I'm talking to you on wouldn't boot up. I mean, it just
Oh no.
I'm running down to my desktop, and it's out of my this is out of bed. I'm like, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me just take a deep breath here. And then you've got gremlins with your lights, and I'm telling you, this is what
Oh,
this is.
I know exactly.
It's like I'll get to the writing probably next week, but yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad though that we got to make this happen.
I know. Look, it's it's so funny. Like your video wouldn't work at first, and then I'm ready to talk, and the lights just went out on me for and
I know it happens, but it's especially when you're right up against a tie, right? It's one thing. Like I never think to go check my computer and it's just frozen, and I'm going, oh great. Oh, now you're doing this. Wonderful. My dog's like this. I'm like, no, I'm like, poor thing. Uh, anyway, it worked
what
out.
do you what 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 kind of music do you like? Like what's on your playlist?
I like I like all kinds of music. Uh, I mean, I do, like I said, I love music I listen to in yoga. I love Kendrick Lamar. I love Mozart. The music I don't have as much appreciation for is, and that's only because I don't listen to it a lot, is more what country western. I
Okay.
I don't listen to it a lot, so I don't have a strong connection. But um, I don't know anything old uh gosh, what is the song? Sly and the Family Stone. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
all kinds of from different eras and different times. My son is 21. He turns me on to because he plays guitar, just more
Oh,
gentler
no.
guitar. Yeah, and I'm just like, I would never even think to. So there's just there's something about music though, and we have it on most of the time here. We have music on all the time, all the time. So you know, everything, everything's the answer.
Okay. So what do you think would be your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, you know what? The first thing that pops into my head is "Love Is a Battlefield."
Love that song.
I'm not saying I can sing. I'm just saying, isn't it just such a, it's one of those songs you want to, sing. If you're going to do a karaoke, so go for it. Right. And then you get into the dance.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, like I'm not much. I can't sing a note, but if I have a couple drinks in me and karaoke's around, I'll be like, okay.
Good for you. No, that's brave. I'd be like, oh, thanks.
And what about food? Like, what kind of foods do you like?
Um, oh my gosh. Well, if you're talking about like favorite foods,
Yeah,
I love pastas. I love, I just, who doesn't? I mean,
of
um,
course.
I know. But we're not gourmet cooks. Like we might marinate some fish. I love grilled fish and seafood.
Yeah.
I grew up on the Eastern Shore, so it was like seafood was a big part of our meals. But um, yeah, I mean, and anything, honestly, anything with cheese. You could just, you know, you give me cheese and crackers and I'd be happy. That's how easy it is. Oh,
I,
well.
I mean, one of my favorite foods is pizza. Like I could eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but then my arteries would get clogged.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing about really, really yummy food. It's like you got to pace yourself with that. I like,
Hmm. Are are you more of a coffee or tea person?
okay, coffee. I'm gonna just go right to it because it's my life force in the morning. Somebody has said,
Mine too.
it's like we live in wine country and we go wine tasting occasionally, and they're like, well, if you had to give up one or the other, I said, I can't not have coffee. I need
Oh
coffee.
no, yeah,
I need my coffee. That being said, I like having a cup of tea at like the end of the day.
true.
I do enjoy my tea.
So, how do you like your coffee? Do you cream sugar or black?
I like it with almond milk. That's it. Just
Yeah,
really
yes,
like
that's good.
creamy almond milk. That's it. That's all I need. It's just in a good bean. You need a good. Mm, God, now I just okay. I have coffee upstairs. I'm gonna get shit. Like, oh,
And is there anything coming up for you that you would like to plug? I mean, I know season 7 of Venice. Is there anything else you would like to plug?
just Venice season 7 on Vimeo.com. And yeah, I'm just back to the writing part of it, which is kind of when you like
Mhm.
crawl into your office and you know just close the blinds and just sit there and stare at your computer. It's a very, really messes with your head sometimes, but no. So that I'm rolling right back to the starting line of a project.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And where could fans follow you at?
On X, it's Chris CRY Sabatino. Uh, Blue Sky, it's Crystal Chappell, and everything else is Crystal Chappell. Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this. Like I said, like I was always a huge Guiding Light fan growing up, and to talk to Olivia was like amazing.
Oh, you are so kind, and I have had so much fun. Thank you. You've made me laugh. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you so much. Definitely have a great day and enjoy your coffee.
Oh boy, you know me well now. Thanks, Rocco.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.